くぞ
Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today we're going to do a run against Immortal Mos. So this boss here, I was able to hit 400 million, and this is the teams that I actually use. Now, what you want to use for this boss here is you want to use purple fighters. Are going to have the advantage against this guy. Plus, you want to make sure you have PG rate leaderships. Now, I did see a run where a gentleman did use Lady Yashiro in the leadership who doesn't have PG rate at all, just bumped up the increased attack to purple fighters by 50%, and he was able to hit 500 million. I mean, he had some OP characters and imprint stones, but honestly, for this thing, you're going to need all that anyways. It's extremely difficult, but this is what I opt to go for because I tried doing that, and I just seemed like I wasn't doing as consistent damage, just wasn't doing as well. Really, the PG rate seems really well. So Chris and Pretty Zero are really freaking amazing for this because of their PG rate leaderships. The Rio cards aren't worth a crap in here. And also shock damage. First team when attacking a shocked enemy, increase the enemy's received damage. So on the first team, we got two characters that deal shock damage. Now, there is something I want to point out really quick here. From what I understand, the Mortal Mos here can be stunned up to 20 times. Now, it doesn't say anything here. When you look at the strategy info, it doesn't say anything about being stunned so many times. Okay, here we go. The boss becomes immune to stuns at a certain point based on the battle duration. So if he gets stunned so many times, he will become immune. So this is something to think about. And dot explosion is what stuns the boss. Now, generally, what you would probably want to do is you'd probably want to use just one dot exploding striker, like Charlotte, Yashiro, Chris here, Swimsuit K, Xion. There's many of them. Becky Lynch. I mean, there's a whole slew of them. Swimsuit Mary. I mean, there's a bunch of them. But you really would just want one on each team because that way they won't stun the boss so often. Because like the situation I got here, I got two characters that deal dot explosion. Well, the thing is, because there's two of them, the chances of me dealing that dot explosion more often are much higher, which means I'm going to stun the boss more often, which means that he could reach a point where he gets immune. And I have noticed whenever I'm fighting him that there are times where I get really good runs, like this 400 million you see here with this exact teams and the exact same cards I have on them, but sometimes I don't. Now, I tried switching out Lady Yashiro for Lady Maxima, who also has shock damage, but doesn't have explosion. You know, if you take a look at, Lady Maxima, here she is, she's a purple fighter, so she does have the advantage. And she does deal shock damage. Plus, she doesn't have any kind of exploding. So I thought I would try her, but I actually was getting less damage than what I am with Yashiro. Now, that could be because my Yashiro's level 40, all max capsules. So I think that's really what it is. I just need to level up Maxima a little more. I have the memories, but I don't have I have the Fest memories, but I don't have the other memories that you have to add on to level her up. So that's kind of why I'm using this. I just seem to get more consistent damage with these teams. Now, really ideally, what you'd want to do is you want to have Chris in leadership, and then just have, because he'll do this dot explosion, and then if you have Genjuro and Ignis, that would be freaking amazing, because you'll get shock damage from Ignis. If you have Lady Maxima leveled up in Ignis, that would be freaking amazing with Chris. And then on the second team, I really think the Nest team would be the way to go. Although, and this is the thing about using a yellow team, if you had Xion in the leadership, you could definitely use Xion to buff up Pretty Zero and Orochi Iori, who might be a really good team. But if you're using Xion and Charlotte, you're going to have two dot exploding characters, which means that you could stun the boss over that. I believe it's 20 times he gets stunned, and then he'll become immune. And if he's immune, he won't take any damage. So that's something we have to all be really careful about. So this team here, I just got one dot exploding character. It's really good. This team here, I got 2 dot exploding characters. It's really not ideally what you want to do. You actually just want 1 because he will become immune after so many stuns. So that's something to definitely think about as far as your teams. You could even put Ash in the leadership here. You could put Swimsuit K in here for the dot exploding. You could put Guinness in here. You could put Lady Geese. There's all kinds of different options. Swimsuit Mary's a green. You could put Ash in the leadership, Swimsuit Mary, Guinness. I mean, there's so many different options that you can do that it's not even funny. But this is the teams that I'm going to be, this is the team that I'm going to run with. And this is the score that I was able to get. But we're just going to jump in here. We're going to see what we can get here. So as far as my Chris, he has the Akane set on him. Lady Yashiro has the Noah set on her. And Ignis here is the only one with imprint stones on his first team. I am running the Akane set on him. And as far as the imprint stones, I just have this first stone here that gives them extra attack by 5%. And the second stone here that actually will decrease the enemy's defenses by 20% for 4 seconds upon landing an active skill on a 10-second cooldown. Really helps the damage because you're decreasing the enemy's defenses by 20%. And then for cards for Pretty Zero, well, for imprint stones, we have the same imprint stone that we had on Ignis. Actually, the exact same imprint stones that we have on Ignis. And then for the card set, we're running the Leah set. The Leah set's really nice for a Pretty Zero because she has long cooldowns, and hopefully it'll reset them cooldowns pretty quick. That way we can roll through our skills a little bit more because Pretty Zero is a damage-dealing monster. Nameless, of course. Yeah, we have a Kea set in him, and we do have this set here, or this card here, the Winter Holiday Gift Wrapping Mission card. That gives extra attack by 4%, crit rate by 4%, and critical damage by 15%. Adds about 5,000 to 6,000 CP on him, depending on how much CP you got. Depends on how much CP you'll gain putting this card on him. As far as imprint stones, he has 2 imprint stones on him. The PG rate stone by 8%, and then the increased attack. This would really be better if it was a gold stone with increase the burn and increase the defensive character. I'm actually, those recovery stones, I don't know, some of these characters I might have to unequip in the future, but it's all a learning curve. And then we have Charlotte, who's level 39, and she's going to have that dot explosion. She's got the Noah set on her. I got one of these cards. I need to level this up, but she doesn't have any imprint stones. So as far as imprint stones, it's really just Nameless, Pretty Zero, and Ignis, and that's it. And then the rest are just fest sets on these characters. And remember, you really would be better off just to have 1 dot exploding character on each team because that way the boss won't get stunned so many times that he'll become immune. But I am running with this because I just consistently either do as much damage with these 2 doubles or the same. But I think when I get my Maxima up to level 40, she's currently level 30. When I get her up to level 40, get her all capsuled up, I think it's going to be a totally different story. So let's jump in here. Let's see what happens. So as always with these runs, you want to make sure that you're on semi-auto. Otherwise, your characters are just going to use their 3 PGs really quickly. And on this first team, when especially I'm going to be playing with Ignis, he will just do his 3 PG over and over. And you really want to try to use his 5 PG as much as you can. And you see currently the boss is being stunned. And you also see apply shock damage to deal more damage to the boss. Okay? Alright, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm just going to keep pouring it on. Now, the one bad thing about Chris is you can't, you can't like see you can't see your skills, which really sucks. And the same with Lady Yashiro. It's kind of the bad thing about those 2 characters. There we go. But this is why you want to be on semi-auto, so you can use this long 5 PG, especially if you're using a character like Ignis, or maybe even some other characters like Lady Maxima as well. So far he's being stunned. I think we're good on the immunity. But, I mean, having that PG rate really is nice. Oh crap, he knocked me up in the air. Damn it, and I couldn't do anything. And that's kind of like the bad thing about, like I said, whenever these characters do their 3 PGs, and you can't do anything sometimes. You gotta wait till their PG finishes, Some characters like Nameless, Genjuro, Harumaru, you can actually still do you can rotate through your skills, which really does make a difference, in all honesty. Come on. See, that was a pretty bad round, actually. Terrible. And now I'm playing with Pretty Z. And that's kind of the thing about this, man. There's a lot of RNG. Sometimes you'll do really awesome. Sometimes you won't. Even with the same characters over and over. Man, it's crazy. That's something I don't like about it. It's very inconsistent. You know? And Pretty Z is just like the other characters because she has a 5 PG. It's really best to just be on semi-auto. That way you can get to that 3 PG. I tried putting Xion in the leadership and then just putting Charlotte on the team. And then having Pretty Z also. Because we still get PG rate from Xion. But it just didn't seem like... It just wasn't doing as good damage because my Xion's only level 20. You know, it's like... It can be kind of a pain trying to figure out the best teams to go with. Because you have characters that are just built differently on different accounts. That's why I think it's just nice just to show you guys what the team that I'm using is doing, how well they're doing. But this team was able to hit 400 million, but we're not going to hit it this time. There's no way. I mean, this is a very, very bad run. We're just going to get a little over 300 million. Usually if I can get 350 million, I'm pretty happy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. We hit 350 million. And there you go. You know, 351 million. 350, I'm sorry, almost 354 million. I've hit 400 million with this team, but it's really about the best I can do so far. Going to continue to keep working on this and keep trying to improve all this stuff. But man, it really is a nightmare. So let me know how you're all doing, and Immortal Most, let me know what teams you're using. And if you have better luck with just using one dot exploding character on each team, or if you have better luck using 2 dot exploding characters on one team. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.